So then why not give them as much information as possible?
Yes.
To make that process easy.
Let's review the question. The question is those folks at the local level first make the determination. And as you know, at the local level, there are 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans. Historically, they will tie. The vote then goes to the Secretary of State. Now, I'm going to take Kevin DeWine and Bob Bennett at their word. Maybe they're just trying to be good citizens, and they want to ensure that John A. Husted or Christopher R. Redfern and Chris Redfern and John Husted are one and the same. But if you're one of those 200,000 new registrants who don't happen to have the capacity to draw the public media here together, or be a Speaker of the House, or be a plumber that's recognized on national television, it serves to provide a chilling impact on whether or not they should even vote. Because if you thought you made a mistake on your registration card, I can tell you, you're probably not going to vote because you fear you're going to be prosecuted because there's so much voter fraud. Is there? If there was so much voter fraud, wouldn't there be more prosecutions? It's an issue that's been created to distract and disenfranchise voters, or in this case, would-be voters. And then let's take this additional step. When boards of elections tie at the local level, 2-2, historically they have, there's one person set aside in federal and state law that can break that tie. That person is the Secretary of State. In barring intervention in the courts, the Secretary of State becomes the decision maker. And what has happened? The Republican Party has bypassed the statutory decision maker, in this case the Secretary of State, and they have gone to the courts repeatedly, both at the state and federal level, because they know they're wrong on the issues. This is the same group that has been in charge of the Statehouse for 16 years, with the exception of Governor Strickland's last 2 years. For 16 years, they've been in charge, and now they found this problem. It's a problem that does not exist. It's a problem that's been created in the minds of many, myself included, to disenfranchise and distract would-be voters. And we believe that those voters would be voting Democratic.
Who in Ohio stated?
I was listening to Bob France on channel 1100 AM, WTAM, I believe it's a Clear Channel station, yesterday, or 2 days ago when I was in Cleveland, and he actually indicated that he believed that there should be a civic test of sorts taken by would-be voters to ensure that they know what they're talking about. That particular idea has also been supported by other right-wing talk show hosts, including those on Toledo WSPD and those others on WTAM. But in this case, Bob France, F-A-R-N-T-Z. I can tell you that when I've attended and listened to events, the suggestions that most recently the Greene County prosecutor, when the Greene County prosecutor and the Greene County sheriff unveil a plan and make a request to get the unredacted Social Security numbers from African American voters at Wilberforce and Central State, it sends a chilling sense down the spines of those who want to vote. And I can tell you there are those of us who can recall that those efforts in history have been used to disenfranchise voters in the past.
Chris, this sounds like a national issue, though. If some states are applying kind of unequally, you've got a Bush versus Gore kind of thing coming back, deja vu. So if this is a national kind of thing, are there other states that have all these stranded mismatches out there, and how's that working?
Well, the Democratic National Committee and our friends in the voter protection teams across the nation are aware of these concerns, and there are several states where the Republicans have initiated the same kinds of activities. The most recent allegations lodged against and at Acorn, for instance. This is a concerted effort to try and marry the Obama campaign with Acorn as if somehow they're related. They aren't. Acorn does all kinds of activities. One of the things they do is register poor folks to vote. I asked the sheriff of Greene County rhetorically, what's wrong with that? I asked those who want to provide poll tests, what's wrong with that? And if you can't spell your last name, you shouldn't be kicked off the ballot if you actually put an O instead of a U because you have poor penmanship. That's what would happen under this particular scenario that federal court judge George Smith and the Ohio Republican Party would have us have here in the state of Ohio. In the old days, in 2000, 2004, we would step back as Democrats and allow the Republicans to dictate their strategy and take over this process. Those are the old days. We'll be far more aggressive than have been. We have lawyers on the ground in all 88 counties, as well as right here at the Ohio Democratic Party, and we will push back on every effort. We are supportive of the Secretary's efforts to seek redress before the United States Supreme Court. We believe we're right on this particular issue. She, again, is enforcing the laws of the state as written by the Republican legislature and as signed into law by Republican Bob Taft.